See here. All right. Every time I go live, I feel like saying "Good morning, Vietnam." Robin Williams, folks. Robin Williams. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I need to come up with a little call phrase like that. Good morning, Vietnam. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. Just want to say some quick hellos to Jules, Amstock, TF. Who else we have? We have Maria. Let me see here. And who else? Dallas, of course. You guys have been here day 97, folks. Just like that. Cheryl, Rhonda, Dan, Johnny. It's been a quick 97 days. Mary and everybody else. Thank you all for joining on a Friday evening. And it goes by fast, doesn't it, when we're having fun? And so today was a little bit more of what we've seen before with regards to the readings. So let me just pull that up, and we're going to talk about Deuteronomy 31. And I just want to point out, hi, Ann. Hi, Sarah, Glenn, Celicia. Don't worry, Celicia, I brought you back. Don't you worry. I think I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. I didn't mean to get rid of you. Just like I would never get rid of Duncan Hines. Duncan Hines and Celicia. You guys have been here, I think, from the beginning. So, my apologies that I accidentally deleted you because there's some troublemakers last night. So, let me pull up a couple notes. I wrote a couple notes just to kind of make sure I don't miss something. I just typed them out in Microsoft Word. And so, I feel reincarnated. That's pretty funny. Let's put that on there. This is pretty funny. I hope everybody's having a nice evening. Maybe has a little bit of a cocktail. I had my son bring down some wine here, so I'm going to have a little bit of wine here in a second. I hope everybody else is having a little bit of vino or something, maybe a cocktail, because it is Friday. It's been a very long week. It's been an extremely productive week, and I must say, don't worry, Adam, I'm not getting rid of you. You missed me, Adam. I was just in Arizona like a week ago. I think I was a week ago there on Friday. I was there, so somehow we didn't cross paths. So let me bring everybody up to speed, I guess, before I start on Deuteronomy. Number one, I got a nice call out by Code Monkey. Anybody who knows Code Monkey, that funky monkey, otherwise AKA the Brass Monkey. Anyways, he's a phenomenal guy. I really enjoyed talking to him. I probably met him back in December. Yeah, I think it was back in December. Somehow we crossed paths, and I was doing some data stuff in other battleground states, and somehow somebody said I needed to talk to him, and told him that he needed to talk to me, and so we've been talking every so often. Not every so often, maybe once a month or two. But I know he's busy, so I don't want to bug him. He's got his family. I got my family. But he did a little shout out to me on Telegram, and he got me an extra 5,000 followers. So it's pretty cool, which is all, I appreciate it. So my Telegram channel continues to grow. It's almost at 50,000 people now. But with regards to Edward Solomon, a couple things. I'll give him a shout tomorrow. I just want to see if what he's working on helps what I'm working on. I agree to pay him a certain amount of money per month for the next 3 months and more, if more is raised, so that he can quit his current job in construction. I'm assuming he's going to do it. He said he's going to give his notice today. I have not spoken with him today. I'll give him a call tomorrow. I don't want to bug him on a Friday night. So, that's a good piece of news. And then obviously next week, right after the holiday, there's a bunch of folks, and maybe some of you have filled this out. There's like 5,000 plus volunteers that have emailed me. I haven't done much with it yet, and I said I wouldn't do anything until I was ready. But I feel like now you have an infrastructure going. We know what we need to accomplish. We need to make sure we take Arizona, then we take Pennsylvania, and we take Georgia. So I've been patiently waiting for this moment to kind of, line up. And I do know how to organize I needed to wait for the right opportunity. And then at this point, the American people, anybody who's donated, thank you so much. And I haven't had time to respond to everybody, but I'm not taking a single penny for myself. All the money will be used to help what it is that we need to do to take this country back. You got to remember, 5 companies in this country make $1 billion a day in profit. So we need to start taking away money from them if we're ever going to win this battle long term. We can't support the enemy. We can't support people that undermine the U.S. Constitution. We're not gonna win if we keep doing that. So we need to start getting this going and so forth. And I do think that we have sheer numbers on our side. So it's just a function of making sure that we utilize everybody's abilities and talents for what we all want, which is not complicated. We just want freedom, right? Which is, basically the word liberty and justice for all. We want to make sure there's one set of rules for every American, and then we all get to live free. I don't think that's too much to ask. I can't believe that we're having this conversation that all we want is we want to be free and we want equal justice. And this is what we are arguing about, folks. Like, this is not we. I'm saying this is what the lunatic left is trying to stamp out. They want 2 sets of rules, one for them and one for everybody else. And so we do need to we need to continue to fight and be organized. Okay. So with that backdrop, let's go to Deuteronomy 31. Joshua becomes the leader of Israel. As we all know, Moses was 120 years old. God told him, because he was disobedient, he wasn't going to go. He wasn't going to cross the Jordan River. We heard about this before earlier in the readings. It's kind of sad. He did get to see it, right? I think it was in the movie. He got to see everybody crossing in. But, God basically assigned Joshua as the new leader of the people that were going to the promised land, which is Israel. And, God made it very clear in the reading that he would be there and he would actually show up before Joshua to kind of clear the path. Because you got to remember, Joshua was going there, and we talk about this in the Bible, and I talk about it like there's a bunch of scumbags trying to do this and take over the United States right from underneath us, right? So it's kind of like, wow, like if they can pull this off where they were trying to steal this country from underneath us, it's very dangerous and very scary indeed. Now, I think about these property price increases across the country in the past year. We've seen a 15 to 20% rise. I do think the Chinese were using our trade surplus money to try to come in here and buy up as many properties as they could. They're trying to, change election outcomes by having the people that are nothing more than sleeper cells on U.S. soil vote exactly the way the Communist Party wanted, so that they could try to take this country over from within. Think of it as like a modern-day Tet offensive. They were in here, they're buying up our stuff, and what I'm saying is, we, the people of the United States, we control the process. We can pass the laws, and all we can say is, look, we're going to give you your money back if you were funded by the Communist Party, but only at cost. You're not going to make any profit, and you get your ass out of here. And I think we need to throw out every single communist sympathizer from China back into China, and they're lucky that that's all they get, that they don't get a jail sentence as well and lose all their freaking money. I think that this is what we need to do in this country if we don't want to be taken over by evil, satanic communists, because they've literally weaponized our entire infrastructure against us. They've used our trade surpluses. We were sending them hundreds of billions of dollars a year. And guess what? And I've been writing about this for over 3-4 years. They've been bribing us with our own damn money. So they have slave labor in China. They take $1 billion a day, and then they bribe politicians all across America that are scumbags who don't have any moral compass, and they just take the money wherever they can get it. And then they find out about the damn land deals of where, the Chinese are going to buy property. Just like in my town of Kane County, this county clerk, this piece of garbage, bragging to me on how he's worth $12-13 million in real estate and how he got an inside look on property over his 30-40 years in government. He thinks I thought that was cool. I think he's a piece of shit. Okay? Yes, I did say that. He's a piece of garbage, and the guy should be arrested for what he did. Okay? His name is Jack Cunningham. He told me this in his office. I don't care. People are like, Bobby, you can't say this. I know what the guy told me. He told me he's like worth $13 to $15 million within 10 minutes of me going in to meet him. And all I can tell you is when I'm thinking about this and looking at what China has done to this country, this is just one clerk in Kane County, Illinois, that did this shit. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a second. This guy's telling me in 10 minutes, is he trying to tell me that, hey, Bobby, this could be yours? I can show you how to do this too. How about you go make a bunch of money? I got news for you, buddy. I know how to make a lot more than $10 million over 50, 60 years for myself. So I don't need to cheat to do it like you did. You're a piece of garbage, okay? And people that do this crap, they're traitors. They're not Americans. They are traitors. You do not sell out your country. You were given a position of responsibility, and you had no business doing this shit. And so, anyways, when I'm reading this, and it does relate to the Bible, folks. It does relate. And God is saying we're going to go in, and we're going to clear the path to knock out everybody else. Sometimes I sit there and wonder, I'm like, well, hell, man, is that us? Have we fallen so far that maybe God's clearing the path to knock us out of the United States? That he's going to let a bunch of scumbags, atheists, satanic communists take this country over? Is this what we're going to let happen? I don't know. I sure as hell don't hope so. I mean, I think we need to all step up and make sure that doesn't happen. Anyways, I'm bringing up Little Jack, okay? Because I'm going to call him Little Jack just like Little Frankie, because I just heard about him today. And little Jack said that Bobby Piton is a thorn in his side. That's what he said. That's what he said. He goes, this guy Bobby, he's a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. I thought that was pretty damn funny. Like, how am I the pain in the ass? I'm not the one that did this horse shit. You're the one that did this stuff, not me. I'm just calling it out as I see it. Don't sit there and brag. I've never, ever in my entire life had somebody who was wealthy within 5-10 minutes start bragging about how much they were worth to me. Ever in my entire professional career. And I've dealt with a lot of really rich people over my lifetime. I dealt with people that are just starting out, that don't have anything. I've dealt with people that have billions of dollars and everybody in between. And I've never, ever had someone with such arrogance and smugness bragging about how much they made by taking advantage of the system. It's just disgusting, okay? That's the deal, folks. So it upsets me greatly, and I think that we need to do our part to make sure that people like this guy and they don't last in office. We need to get rid of them all. And you know what? We need to figure out how to make sure that if they cheated us, we go after their assets somehow. And if we need to change the laws to do it, then so be it. If we need to make sure that any pensions for government workers get pierced, that we just strip them away from them, we need to do that too. Because this is enough is enough. These people have cheated us for decades. And, hopefully, maybe we're in the middle of the Great Awakening. People keep talking about this Great Awakening. I don't even know what the hell that means. Like Great Awakening. Everybody's waking up. Maybe everybody's just fed up. I call it the Great Fed Up. It's like we're all fed up. Maybe that's what it should be called. We're fed up. Americans are fed up. We're done. We're going to take them all out, and we got to remove them all from office. So, anyways, that's what's going on. So, going back to Deuteronomy 30, one of the other things, Moses was 120 years old. I did think it was kind of interesting. Because in this, with the public reading of the book of instruction, I did think this was pretty interesting. That, hold on a second here. Let me see here. The Festival of Shelters, every 7 years, the book of instructions. So I thought that was interesting because every 7 years, they're told to read out the book of instructions. Now, it just so happens that every single part of our body is rebuilt every 7 years. Every single bone, every single cell, everything in our every single thing in our body is broken out and destroyed. So you can always say, I'm only 7 years old. Like, there's not a single part of my body that is over 7 years old. Every single part of us is rebuilt. I think that's fascinating because this is actually tied into the Festival of Shelters. Every 7 years, you're supposed to read over the book of instructions to everybody, all the youth and children of God, right? All of our children, so that they realize what the lessons of our faith are, because a lot of these lessons are lost. We kind of get a little lazy, right? And, I'll be the first one to speak about it. Like I have my children. I got my 17-year-old over here. I think he's playing video games with his friends. That's right. He's looking over. He's like, I'm calling him out on YouTube. He goes, "What the hell are you doing, Dad?" Anyways, my son's over here. He's playing his video games. And I'm sitting there thinking, maybe I should have been a bit of a hard ass, a little more of one, right? Explaining the importance of religion much more thoroughly over the past 5-10 years. I was a little more lackadaisical. I probably just said, what, he'll pick it up, he'll learn it, and everything will be fine. He went to his catechism classes, and, I wasn't as active as I needed to be, right? That's the problem. I wasn't as active as I needed to be, and I think that we as parents, we as citizens, we as family members, we need to get more active, not just in politics, but in our faith. We need to talk about our faith. We need to talk about how it relates to our job, the friends we choose, how we live our lives, how our relationships are with our family, with our children. All these things all tie in together. And oftentimes nobody wants to talk about it. It's kind of like a little sound, like a little hush. Shh, don't talk about it. Nobody wants to hear about that, Bobby. You're ruffling feathers. People are going to leave early, right? Instead of coming out on a Friday night, you're going to come by for an hour and a half. Actually, like, let's just say they were going to come by for 3-4 hours. An hour and 15 minutes in, they're looking at their watch and want to get out of here. Anyways, this is the deal. That maybe this is why people don't want to have these conversations, is that we don't put in the time to have the conversations. So we're not used to it. It makes people uncomfortable. And I think that we do need to start, doing this more often, right? Let's see here. My son is tired of me pointing out the propaganda. I tell him it's my job. First of all, Maria, I got a real simple solution for you, right? Just turn it off. Don't even watch it. I do like what Sarika's saying, okay? That's a very unique name. I've never seen anybody with that name. Sarika. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, so I hope it's proper. Sarika Cerno House. Sarika Cerno House. That's an interesting name. Never seen that name before. It'd be an interesting last name to look in the voter rolls. See how many more of you are there out there. I don't think I've seen that name that I could recall in the 5 battleground states. I'm just curious where you're at, but maybe you're not in one of the 5 battleground states. But where's the wine Friday? Here, Sarah, here's the wine. This is what I'm having right here. See? It's called Josh. It's not a bad wine. Anyways, I do like Josh. It's not a bad little vineyard. I did for Arizona. Okay, so you're in Arizona. So all I could say is, folks, turn all the crap off. You'll feel a lot better. Go back to traditional books. Go start reading the classics. Okay. Right now I'm reorganizing my upstairs. So I'm kind of have this like studio down here. If you notice, I still don't have all the equipment back and up and running the way it needs to be. I got to get to it, folks. I'm trying to get all this. I'm trying to get everything done that I need done during the day, and then I take a little break for an hour or two. Spend time with the kids and my wife, and make some dinner, and then I go right back to work for a few more hours. So sometimes I don't kind of slip that into the schedule, but I'm trying. I have a couple other people that are starting next week. I've hired some more people for Preactive, my company. I've hired people for the voter stuff, that the money that I raised, I'm going to have them doing stuff. And so, hopefully I get a little bit of this, absorbed. I'll give you hold on a second. Hold on. You gave me a hug. Oh, that's right. You got me the book. That's right. That's thank you so much. You took off real fast. That's right. I remember you. That's a wonderful book, and thank you so much that you got me the book. You took off real quick before I could try to pay for it. So thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for showing up. And that was a very, very wonderful and kind gesture. So I'm glad we got to meet. And if you would have told me your name when we met, maybe you did, and maybe it all happened so fast that I don't remember. But that you do have a very unique and special name, and I can't say that I've ever seen anybody with that name in my entire life. So the book was on one of the speakers that's a Navy SEAL, and so I have that book upstairs. I don't have it upstairs right now. I mean, I don't have it right here, but what was his name? Sarika, maybe you have it, but I forgot the name of the book, but I do know if I see the flyer, I know his name. But I haven't read it just yet. But he did such a wonderful job speaking that I thought I wanted to read the book and think about it some more, because he did a phenomenal job speaking. So very cool. So yeah, it's a small world, isn't it? I do exist, folks. So you can ask Sarika. She did see me. Middle name is Cashin. I will get it. Yeah, there you go. So Sarika, I don't know if you were here when I did tell everybody. That was a very kind gesture when you just saw me and got that book before I could respond. It all happened so fast. I got to tell you, you're very quick. You put the money down, you took off. Anyways, so here, this is where we're at. We're at going through, what ended up happening with the public reading of the book, and why it's important to follow the rules, and why we as parents, we don't always do what we need to, and we don't have those difficult conversations, right? Because it upsets our children. And so here, let me put that book up. That's he's a phenomenal author. See if you can. I would imagine he has some YouTube videos. He's definitely worth watching. He had a lot of wonderful things, to talk about. And but getting back to this whole concept of these core principles that lead to our success. A lot of times, this happens with parents. I've noticed. I want to tie it into what I've noticed. I've noticed with regards to wealthy people, right? There's a lot of wealthy people, that I've met over the years, and they have children, and most, I would say, let's just say 90% of wealthy people I've met have children. Let's just say that number's that. And I haven't kept track of it. I'm just saying out loud. So let's just say 90% of the children, wealthy people, have children. And then of the wealthy people that do have children, they made their money taking risk. So they did something that they took some risk. They set up a business. They took a risk, because they had no choice. That's what I hear a lot. They kind of felt like they had no choice. They had to do something. They weren't making enough money to support themselves, support their family, what they wanted to do, their goals. So they just rolled the dice and they just dove in and they set up something, and they built a small fortune, and they built all this capital. And then next thing you know, they kind of discourage their children from taking risk, and they don't want them to live the same stressful life that they live, right? And a lot of people don't realize that the stress that they feel is actually very rewarding. When you feel stressed, it brings you focus, and when you get focus, you tend to get better results. And because you have no choice, you cut out all the crap that's going on in your life. And sometimes this concept of how we behave when we have success, and then we try to transfer it to our children or grandchildren or other family members, when we share these examples, we focus on the negative a little too much. We focus on all the grief and the aggravation and problems and things that went wrong, instead of focusing on all the lessons that we learned along the way, and how wonderful it was that during our moments of trials and tribulations, somebody stepped up. Somebody gave us a hand. Somebody, took a chance and became a client, when we were building a business and we were just starting out. Or, somebody took less money to work with us because they knew that they believed in the vision of what we were building. All those types of things are so unbelievable. That's the real lesson in all this. And so when we go through all of that, for ourselves, building something from scratch, trying to encourage others to live their values. Well, if we want more Americans to live their values, we need more people to create organizations, businesses, entities, structures, institutions that live those values. And they're not going to come risk-free, folks. We're going to have to operate a little bit on faith. We got to kind of jump forward, right? I started raising this money. I think I raised like $18,000. I was trying to raise 150. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I wanted to raise enough money for 1 year to pay 3 people, build this out, rent the space, everything else. And I'm sitting there thinking, I raised like $15,000, $16,000. I'm like, I can't wait another 6 months. You know what? I just said the heck with it. I'm not going to rent any space. I'm going to do this out of my house. I'll set up some desks for them, get them a damn phone. So they'll have their own phones. They have their laptop. And I'm going to just have them start calling. I'm going to be like, you know what? You're going to work on this. You're going to work from your own home. You come in here. You're going to do some other stuff. I have one person remote. So there are actually 2 people remote. One person will be here. I'm going to go through all this stuff. And I'm going to say, you know what? I can't pay you for more than 3 months right now. But you know what? I'm not taking any money. But we're going to do this voter integrity stuff. And let's see what the hell happens. So we'll list the results. And it's in God's hands. And if people like the results, we'll get more money. You can work past 3 months. So that's the deal, folks. I'm like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to wait around for everything to be perfect. It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit here and wait. People have given the money to be like, you know what? Let's see what happens. People are giving their hard-earned cash to see if we can make a difference. And then, damn it, I'm going to see if we can make a difference. And then I'm going to present it. I'm going to present what's going on weekly. Folks, I have no problem talking if you haven't noticed. So I have no problem getting on camera and telling everybody what the hell's going on. And I think that, here we go. I do like that. We just need to build the plane while you fly it. That's right. So we're going to try to build this plane while we fly it, get people involved, and get everybody, going. So, Patrick, I have not seen your emails. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to do with regards to, having some other people come on staff, because part of my problem is, and I'm embarrassed to say, right, I'm trying to hire some staff that just goes through my social media. I just don't have the time. I wish I had the time. I really enjoy reading some of the comments. Sometimes I just randomly read stuff at 3 a.m. because I have to do my job. So during the day, I have to do what people are paying me to do. I can't not do that. So I have to read about companies. I have to make investment decisions. I got to see if I want to do anything. I got to read what the news is going on. I got to look at political events. So then that's all my bandwidth. And then at night, I'm doing this. And so it literally, like, I have 2 damn jobs. I'm not going to kid you. It definitely feels like 2 jobs. Maybe you guys don't think it is. Maybe it's just one job and this other thing is just a hobby. But this, doing all this integrity stuff and voter integrity stuff definitely feels like another job. But I do think it's important. And like I've said before, I tell my wife all the time, at least I'm not on a damn battlefield right now. At least they didn't draft me. I got to worry about getting shot. I'm not sleeping in my damn, my chili pad. I got my chili pad, so I'm comfortable when I go to bed at night. I wouldn't be sleeping on a damn chili pad if this was World War II. I might be sleeping on the damn ground in a bunch of shit. So dealing with working this much and doing my part in front of a computer and then, pacing myself and seeing my family is a heck of a lot better than having to deal with, being in the trenches, in the physical world of what it used to be like in the past. And so everything is relative to me. I think about that and I'm like, we're really damn close to that, folks. people don't realize how close we are. Look at this. I'm not wearing gray today, folks. I'm wearing blue. See, this is blue, not gray. So it might look blue or look gray, but this is a blue shirt. Just want to make that clear, right? So, anyways, I am going to try to mix it up with some color here. Maybe I'll get some more colorful shirts and so forth later. So, investment selection by that's funny. That's in about that order too, right? Investment, selection, Bible study, and spending time with the wife and kids to make sure everything stays together. So anyways, so let's go to the next thing here. Hold on a second. I am having a lot of fun though, believe it or not, folks. This is a lot of fun for me, and it's been wonderful. And thank you all for joining in every night. It does. My wife always tells me, I'm like, I kind of hit the skids. I'm kind of getting tired end of the day, and then after I do the Bible study at night, it's like she's like, "What the heck you're like already up. You're ready to right, go right back to work or something." And I do get a little bit of a kick, so I watch a little bit of TV with her and we talk and so forth. So, anyways, that's where we're at. Okay, so what I did think was interesting is this pillar of smoke, with regards to Israel was disobedient. And, one of the things that was known is after Moses died, tremendous amount of disobedience, right? And that people just completely ignored all the things that led to success in Israel and what God did for the Jews leaving Egypt and, all the promises that God made, and then the people failed to hold up their end of the bargain. And this seems to be a repeating cycle throughout history of humanity, right? We kind of fail at times, right? We fall short. We know what we should do, and sometimes it's tough. It's tough to see the whole board. We're just like, we're one person out of 300 million Americans. And so one out of 300 million Americans, we sometimes think, oh, don't worry, but if I don't do something right, the other 299,999,000 will do it right? That's kind of the mindset that we all think somebody else will take care of it. And we're all, I know I'm definitely guilty of that. For my entire adult life, I would just show up. I never voted in a primary until like last year. Ever. I never voted in a primary my entire life. Nobody ever told me why it was important. I didn't even take the time to figure out why it was important. But all I'm saying is I would just show up and I would just vote what they told me, right? Coke, Pepsi, Coke, Pepsi. Oh, I guess I'm a Coke drinker. I vote for the GOP. Oh, the Democrats vote for Pepsi. And it's like, that's all we did. We just voted Coke, red, Pepsi, blue. Coke, red, Pepsi, blue. And that's all they did. They just set it up as two soda pops. And we all just kind of go into the booth and we have separate lines and we do all this horse shit. And we go in there and then we realize it's like, wait a second. This isn't really Coke. This is like toxic water. They just packaged it fancy, right? That's what it feels like, this whole political process. I'm not talking about Coke and Pepsi. I'm just saying in general. And they've lied to us on so many different fronts. And then they cheated. And then they're stealing, and then they lie about the census data. They're just lying every which way. And I'm like, what the hell have I been drinking this whole time? It's like instead of drinking the Kool-Aid, we're like, what the hell were they giving us? I mean, is it laced? Are there drugs in this stuff? Is there, what did they put into this drink that we've been drinking this entire time? And anyways, I don't think I'm alone, right? I think I'm just one of, probably tens of millions, maybe 100 million Americans. We all kind of woke up at the same time and felt like, what the hell is going on? This isn't like what we thought it was. And then we're like, okay, well, we got to fix this. We got to fix it. And we got to get to work. And getting to work means, okay, we got to look at the fundamentals. We got to look at, okay, who are we? What's our faith? What do we believe in? What do we need to do to take the country back and reinstitute the things that made America great again, right? That's what the MAGA movement was about. Everybody's like, what the hell is Trump? What's Trump talking about? What's make America great? Make America great is putting God first, following the 10 Commandments, following the U.S. Constitution, holding everybody to one set of standards. We're all subject to one set of rules and laws, and that we should all be free. This is the way we're born. We're born free, and we should die free, and we should live freely. So we should be born, live, and die freely. That's the way it is. And that's what America is supposed to be. This is why people from every nation on earth want to come here. They want to live here. Folks, we can have 1 billion people in America probably within 1 year. If we said, hey, worldwide population, you can come to America, if you can take care of yourself. How many people want to show up here? I bet you we'd have 500 million to 1 billion people show up within 12 to 18 months. We wouldn't be able to handle the damn flow, but we would have so many free spirits from all over the globe that want to live here in America. We have every people on this planet that live here. Guess where they don't want to live? They don't want to live in China. China's a shithole, okay? So when Trump talks about these shithole countries, China is a shithole country. You heard it here right from me, Bobby Piton. It is a shithole. These people that are running it are assholes, and they enslave the people, the Chinese people. I have no problem with the Chinese people, but these evil, satanic communists are evil, and they need to face justice. The people of China, I know you guys have no guns, strangle them instead. Go grab them. Just cut them down with your damn hands. These people are evil. The people that turn around and treat you like animals, take them out. And that's all I can say. Okay, I don't usually call for violence, but I'm saying is, if the Chinese people feel as though they're being treated like animals, and folks, you got to remember, this is a country. I'm not joking around. Have you ever seen a dog that doesn't love people, right? That, every dog that I've ever run across, unless it's been abused, they just love people, right? Dogs love human beings. They're the only animal on this earth that communicates with people with their eyes. Dogs can communicate with us through our eyes. No other animal can. We can look at something, and a dog will look, and they'll know what the hell we're thinking. Unbelievable that how smart dogs are, and they bring human beings so much joy. Dogs are so incredible, right? And guess what? These sons of bitches, they cook them. They cook them alive, right? They have festivals where they eat these dogs. They eat dogs. They eat man's best friend. These are sick, satanic people that do this stuff. When you sit there and eat an animal that has been with human beings for thousands of years, our companion, helping us hunt, find food, we shouldn't be buying stuff from people like that. You know what? It's not rocket science. Don't buy stuff from people that eat dogs. Like, what the hell is the problem? You know what? Don't buy stuff from people that eat dogs. I don't think that's too hard of like a litmus test to pass. Don't let people in from countries that eat dogs. I can't believe that me saying this is radical, right? How am I the radical guy, right? How am I the radical guy by saying, don't eat the damn dogs? Anyways, this is the kind of lunacy that we live in right now, that these people do this kind of crap. And then you have other countries in the Middle East that they make women walk around like they're a walking mailbox. They don't give them a right to an education. They don't even let them drive cars in some of these countries. They treat them like property. They give them 2/3 of a vote. Don't buy anything from them. Women of the United States. I sent this to the White House. I sent this to President Trump. I call it the WOW movement. Women of the West. Wow. Women of the West. 80% of all purchasing in this country, in the United States, all of the major purchasing in the United States, it's 51% of all the people in the U.S. are women. Okay? Biological women. Right now, I'm not talking about the guys that think they're women, even though they still got their body parts. I'm talking about biological. About 51% of our population is biologically female. That 51% controls about 80% of the purchasing decisions of the United States. That's the facts. They figure out what house we're going to buy. Guys, I'm in that camp, right? I'm in that camp. It's not what house Bobby wants to buy. It's kind of like, I want to make the wife happy. most guys, hey, I hate to tell you, folks, women don't realize this. Most guys, if we lived in a studio with a computer and a bed, we'd probably be fine. Guys don't really need very much. But you know what? Guys do like to please and work hard for their women if they love their women. So they'll step up and they'll be like, you know what? I want my wife to be happy. I want to provide for my kids. I'm going to work a little more. Maybe I just need something a little bigger than this damn one bedroom studio. And so anyways, so in terms of cars, same thing. My wife, she figured out what car we're going to buy. She figures out where we're going to travel. I just say, where do you want to go? What's going to make you happy? What do you want to go see? And it's like, I'm not alone, folks. Most guys think this way. Most guys are like, you know what? I'll give my input, but I'm okay going wherever you want to go. And then women make those decisions. And guess what, folks? It shows up. It shows up in the numbers. Women are the ones that call the shots on what drives our economy, the United States economy. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is because from my perspective, if women are 80% of the purchases of America, and I have 3 daughters, right? I have 2 sons and 3 daughters. And I'm sitting there telling my wife, I go, as my daughters get older, I want them to push for this. I want them to say, you know what? I want to make sure our elected officials, that we, the people of the United States, do not buy anything from any country that violates women's rights. You guys call the shots. Why is this? What you only need 50 out of 80% of the women, right, to say this. You say 50% of the 80% of the purchases in the U.S. And you only get a little fraction of guys to agree with you. You're like, no, we're not buying anything if they don't let women be women and have an equal voice and have an economic right and get to vote in elections and go to school. Get them out of here. Okay, what's going on? Who do we need to hammer, John? Hold on a second. We always check. I don't know. Do I got to get rid of somebody? I can't tell. Let me see. Anyways, this is the deal, folks. This is why when I'm sitting there reading this stuff and I think about, where we are and what we need to do as a nation, why not? Imagine what the world would look like, right? Women, it's your time to shine. That's all I can tell you. Title IX, this is why these scumbags, okay? This is why the scumbags are trying to let men into women's sports. They want to completely destroy all the incredible benefits that have accrued to American society as a result of Title IX. There's about 25 million young girls in this country, 25 million young boys, and there's only 3,000 young boys who think they're women, right? They think they're biological women even though they have male parts. And those 3,000 boys should not determine what happens to 25 million women, period. 25 million women should say, you know what? Set your own damn thing up. I don't give a shit. Get out of here. You know what? We're going to let women compete with women, and that's just the way it is. We want to be competitive among ourselves, and if you want to do your own little thing, we'll maybe watch you, okay? But get out of here. It's a joke. And I think women need to step up and fight back against this evil and this insanity and this lunacy that the lunatic left is trying to undermine a lot of the gains that have taken place in women. And I don't think it's by accident, folks. They do not like the fact that women are strong in our society. And you know what? Guess what happens? You have a society where women have an equal voice. Women don't like to send their children to war. They don't like to send their children off on suicide bombing missions, right? They don't. In the Middle East and these other countries where their kids are disposable, guess what? It's the dads calling the shots by themselves. The women don't have anything to say. And in fact, they cover them up with sheets, not even white sheets, just black sheets. So instead of the KKK, they're the MMM, You can call them the MMM instead of the KKK. And they cover themselves up with these black sheets, and then they go around, and then they're okay with their young boys and young girls killing themselves, or I guess they sell their daughters off. It's okay too, I guess. I guess if you have the sheet, what the hell? You don't want, you don't want two sheets put on you. So you'll be like, okay, if you want to sell our daughter, go ahead. I can't handle the heat from two sheets being put on me. Just leave the damn one sheet. Anyways, that's, I'm sorry. I know it's very popular stuff here. It's very popular. But, somebody has to say it. Just like keep trying, Sam. I got to keep trying. Oh, boy. Deuteronomy 32. Hold on. Folks, I got off on a tangent. It's okay. That one's fine on Deuteronomy 2. I'm going to read off Luke 12. Okay. So let me get a little wine. I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down, folks. Yeah, they're trying to bring that horse shit over to this country. We got to make sure that never happens. The moment they try to have our girls cover themselves up, that's what these damn masks are. These masks are opening salvo. Get this shit off of people's face. If they want to wear it, that's their business. But nobody should ever be mandated to wear a mask ever. And we outnumber them 47,000 to 1. And I think we need to start literally removing these people from office. We should be recalling all these people. Otherwise, we need to go to the history books and look at see if there's any instruction booklets in the past about this whole tar and feathering process that they followed. We should go look at how did they heat the tar up? What temperature did they run it at? Where did they get all the damn feathers? Did they get them from chicken farms? We should go start researching this. And you know what? You only need a couple of these people tarred and feathered, and we'll see what the hell happens. Anyways, I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not calling for violence, folks. I'm just saying we should look to see what was said in the manual. Is this literal or is this figurative? Did they truly tar and feather these people, or was it? Did they just say they were, tar and feathering them? Anyways, so Luke 12. I tell you the truth. Everyone who acknowledges me publicly here on earth, the Son of Man, will also acknowledge in the presence of God's angels. But anyone who denies me on earth will be denied before God's angels. Anyone who speaks against the Son of Man can be forgiven, but anyone who blasphemizes the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. And when you are brought to trial in the synagogues and before rulers and authorities, don't worry about how to defend yourself or what to say, for the Holy Spirit will teach you at that time what needs to be said. Folks, I do believe this. I do believe that, when you ask God for guidance and you ask for God to speak, I do like that. Far and tethered. I do like, that's a good way to get past the censors, Fran. I do. That's a great idea. We'll far and tether them. So that's the way we sneak it through. But when you ask God for guidance, I do think that a lot of things that you ask for guidance for, they just flow into you. You don't even need to really think about it too much. It just appears. And so I do think it's a pretty amazing thing. And I do find myself, folks, sometimes I know this sounds a little silly, but when I'm going through the Bible here, and when I start talking, and and I get into the zone, as some would say, I get, some people get into the zone in sports. When I get into the zone about talking about this, I'm not kidding around. Like, it just goes. I'm not stopping to think about what I'm saying. I'm just kind of like free flowing it. I'm just like freestyling, and the words seem to come out, and they come out and explain, how it relates to things. At least I think they do. And maybe some of you don't think that it's flowing, but it seems to make a lot of sense when I say it, even though I'm not giving it too much serious thought. At the moment, it just flows out. So maybe a lot of it's just preparation, but I'm not sure how it all kind of comes out. I have a lot of drywall patching, dude. That's funny. That's funny, Adam. I like that. Okay, so Jesus replied, "Friend, who made me a judge over you?" Okay, so then someone called the crowd, "Teacher, please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me." Right? This is an interesting one. I did find this one pretty interesting. "Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that? Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. Tell that to politicians, right? These scumbags are just trying to steal as much as they can. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, "What can I do? I don't have room for all my crops." Then he said, "I know, I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods, and I'll sit back and say to myself, 'My friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy. Eat, drink, and be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for?' Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God." Folks, that is so spot on. You know, I often think about this, right, from the standpoint of charity. There's a lot of people that go through this life. They build a tremendous amount of wealth, and they don't give anything away while they're alive. So they go 40, 50, 60, 70 years. They don't give away any money to charity. Nothing. And then when they're about to die, they start to give the money away. But then I sit there and I think about the compounding effect. Just like wealth compounds, you know, like when you grow money that you save, it compounds. Good deeds also compound. If you tithe effectively, you tithe with your time, you tithe with your money, and you make a difference in this world. You don't just feel it right now. It has a lasting impact for decades, possibly for hundreds of years afterwards. The tithing that you do by doing good things for your family, for your friends, for your neighborhood, for your society, those leave a lasting impact. Don't believe me? Think back on some of your children, you know, some of the people that you had as teachers in school. The ones, hold on a second, guys. Who do I need to hammer? Just tell me the name. But so what I'm saying is, you know, when you think about, is it Adel? Is that the person? Hold on. Okay, bye, Adel. It was nice knowing you. I do have nice here. It's not wiry though. Some people thought it was wiry. It's not wiry. It's, you know, but bye. Anyways, yeah. So Adel's out of here. But what I am saying is, you know, when you tithe and you do good things, those good things have long-term ramifications to the world around us, to everybody else, and so forth. And I think that you know, we don't give that enough credit. You know, part of this whole thing that I'm doing with the voter integrity, I'm trying to set up you know, a new set of accounting. So how people spend their time, right? How people spend their time in, you know, helping. I want to keep track of it. So if I have volunteers and they create deliverables, you know, for this whole effort across the nation, I want to keep track of it. And I want to tell people, this is how much money we spent. This is what we raised. This is what we spent. This is how many hours were worked, paid hours. These are non-paid hours. This is what we have to show for it. So everybody's like, wow, you know what? You know, I want to tell this funny story, and then we're going to kind of wrap this up today, okay? Because it's already, I'm almost been going for an hour, if you could believe this. And so here, I'm going to tell you this funny story because it does relate to what I'm talking about with regards to tithing and with regards to charity and what we can do, right, as a society. Okay, so here's the deal. So there's a guy, not the Schwab that we hear of today. There was a guy named Charles Schwab 100 years ago, okay? He was, I think, one of the first CEOs or one of the first big CEOs of a company called U.S. Steel. Yes, that U.S. Steel that Andrew Carnegie built up and then J.P. Morgan bought. It was the most valuable steel company on planet Earth. So this guy, Andrew Carnegie, built it up, and he hired somebody by the name of Charles Schwab. I think it was Charles Schwab. I have to double check. Definitely the last name Schwab. So what ended up happening with this guy Schwab is they had steel plants, and they had a problem at one of the plants. And the morning crew, because of how expensive steel plants cost to operate, the morning crew was producing more steel than the night crew. So the night crew wasn't producing as much steel. So they had all these problems about this. Like, what the heck, man? These people at night, maybe they're just tired. They're not used to work in the middle of the night. Something. They were just very aggravated because they were not producing as much steel. They had a bunch of errors. There was more problems with the steel that the night crew produced. But keep in mind, folks, this is 100 years ago, right? So I understand it was a little difficult to keep track of all this stuff. Okay, but they were producing all this steel, and then guess what? It wasn't working, so Charles Schwab comes in, or Mr. Schwab. I'll have to find his name. I'll tell you tomorrow if it was by chance Charles, but it's definitely Schwab. So Schwab comes in, and he goes, where do all the workers enter the building, right? Where do all the workers enter this steel plant? So they showed him. Oh, it was Charles Schwab. There you go, baby. Look at that. So it was Charles Schwab. Same damn Charles Schwab then. Anyways, there you go. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. So his name was Charles Schwab. Okay. So this Charles Schwab, he asks, okay, where does everybody enter the building? So he found out where everybody enters the building, and he says, I want you to draw a line, right in between this. We're going to put up a big billboard, and we're going to put a line of how much steel the morning crew produced per person, right, and how much steel the night crew produced. And wouldn't you know it, just putting that little board up there, how much each one was producing at night and then the morning, guess what happened? Well, it wasn't the morning crew started producing less to be like the night crew. The night crew was like, oh shit, we're kind of dogging it, right? We're not producing as much as we should be relative to the people during the day, and people don't like to feel like they're doing a shitty job. And so guess what? Productivity was solved. All of a sudden, boom, they were both producing about the same amount of steel. And did you know to this day, I heard that they still have this kind of metric in a lot of these steel plants across the U.S. 100 years later. This is why they have this in place. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I want to create this whole army of volunteers. And I'm going to say, you want to volunteer? And I'm going to say, don't give me more hours than you're going to work. I want to know exactly how many hours you say you're going to work and what you're going to work. And then we're going to break up the problem. And then we're going to keep track of your results of your problem. We need signed digital affidavits. We need phone calls, whatever it is that we need to do. And I'm going to keep track of the metrics. I'm not going to put your name out there. I'm not, I don't want to shame people by their name, but I'm going to say, look, this is how much everybody else is producing. They said they're working this many hours. This is the state. Here's the results. You want to up your game, or do you want to just, maybe not be involved in saying you want to be, contributing? Because if you're going to contribute, you got to contribute. You got to operate at the level that everybody else is expected to. And I think that's a very healthy thing for us to do. As a society, as a non-charitable, nobody ever puts accountability into any charitable work. It's ridiculous. And I think that we would be a lot further along, and if we got to see what the hell is working and what isn't working, I do think that we would get there much further, and so forth. So, anyways, let's go to Proverbs 12. No harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. The Lord detests lying lips, right? The Lord definitely detests 95% of all politicians, but he delights in those who tell the truth. So the question is, who out there is telling the truth, right? They're far and few between. There seems to be a backlash against anybody who speaks the truth. Look at Lynn Wood, right? Lynn Wood has been attacked viciously for speaking the truth. They go after Code Monkey, right? Code Monkey, he's not saying anything that's a lie. He basically explains, he drops raw data. He drops facts. But boy, they really vilify him, right? They try to say that he's part of some organization or entity that's known as a letter of the alphabet. What a joke. They tried to say that I was part of this. There was an article I got banned on USA Today or something. they were blasting me by just saying that I was one of these folks too. And I said, I have no idea. I like some of the phrases, but I have no idea who the hell you're talking about. I just like to ask a lot of questions. I didn't know asking questions was against the law nowadays. The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. And folks, obviously look at the media. Look at how many jokers and evil people have the mic telling, tens of millions of people lies, and they do it every day, and they do it with a smile. And it's a bunch of scumbags. You got the one that a lot of these people are related to these corrupt families that have sold this country out. At some point, they're going to have to pay. I'm not sure what that looks like, but justice needs to come for these people that did this to us. I'm not sure what that justice is going to look like, but I am hopeful that it's going to come. So, anyways. Yeah, I love Linwood and Code Monkey too. I think a lot of my Telegram audience is because of those two people. I think, like I said, I'm almost at 50,000 people, and I really think that I think it's Linwood who's drove a lot of that traffic, and I think Code Monkey. So those two have told people about me, and so obviously I love their work and I enjoy talking to them. But I'm not going to kid you. I'm not going to forget St. Michael. Don't you worry. I appreciate it, Jules. But I'm actually going to bring up St. Michael right now. But and here, what I could say is, Jules, thank you so much for the gift. I did get it. I didn't get to call you just yet, but I did get your gift, and thank you very much. I'm going to call you tomorrow with Nicole. She was busy today, but we did get it. So Edmund loves it, and I'll make sure we do a little Zoom call with you. You'll be able to see little Edmund. He's smiling, and he's, like I said, kids at this age are kind of like cats. They sleep about 18 hours a day. They wake up, they eat something, they need a diaper change, they go back to bed, and then they wake up and say, I think I need another meal. And they just kind of repeat that cycle every day for about the first, I don't know, it feels like 2 or 3 months. But it's not too bad. They got a simple little gig going, but they still look cute while they're doing it. So St. Michael's prayer. Okay, St. Michael, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, and we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of a heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander through the world for the ruin of souls. So I just want to say, God bless everyone. God bless your family and friends. May God continue to bless the greatest nation in the history of the world. By the way, I want to tell you a story of what happened today on this. So there's a woman from Florida. She's telling me there's a lot of trouble in Florida. And I didn't know that, right? Because Florida has a phenomenal governor. I love DeSantis. Everything he's doing, he's a true American patriot. So DeSantis, I'm thinking, wow, DeSantis, Republican governor, Florida's in control by patriots, right? And she's telling me all this bad news. She's sitting there telling me about all these rhinos and things that they're doing, and that they have all these data sets, and they have the data sets that they've been purchasing. They have some from 2016, and they want my help. They're like, hey, Bobby, do you think you'll be able to help us? And so, her name happens to be Caroline, right? I just saw Carolina, which is pretty interesting. Her name is not Carolina. Her name is Caroline. So anyways, as I'm calling Caroline, right, because I was returning her call about Florida, somebody told me that she was going to be calling me, so I was expecting the phone call, and I missed the phone call. I screened my phones, I don't know who the hell is calling. But so I just waited for voicemail. I end up giving her a call, and then she kind of ends. Yeah, there you go, JC. That's right. So she ends the call by saying, God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. No joke. This is what she said on her voicemail. So anyways, I'm like, this is an awesome voicemail. I've never heard somebody say, God bless the United States of America in the voicemail. So anyways, I call her up, and I said, Caroline, I don't know if you know this guy named Neil Diamond. I'm sure she does, right? But I said, this guy Neil Diamond, he's got this wonderful song about Sweet Caroline. And when I was listening to your voicemail, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, wow, this woman is so sweet. She's like Sweet Caroline. This is what that song was about. So anyways, I leave her this message, and I have her give me a call. And she says, it's pretty funny, but that was our song. My husband and I, we danced to that song, Sweet Caroline. And that, I've heard that song thousands of times. So she got a kick out of me saying that song. Obviously, it's I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably put the connection between Neil Diamond and that song and someone with the name Caroline. It is a pretty unique name and so forth. Anyways, that's the deal with that. So I just thought I'd share that story. That just happened tonight. So may peace be with everyone. And if you don't have peace for some reason, put your faith in God, get involved, and restore greatness to our republic by getting rid of all the traitors. I did say earlier tonight, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you what I wrote earlier. Let's see. And I did say you guys will get a kick out of this. I got a lot of good response on this one. I'm happy about this. My fellow American patriots, I'm going to map out how long every politician has been in office and what colleges or universities they went to, so we can calculate a corruption score. The longer they've been in public office, plus the score of the school they attended, and how corrupt that school is, will combine to show us clearly who needs to be targeted for removal next election cycle. The snotty universities with arrogant communists are top of the list. So I'm gonna break this out, and I do believe that if we get this done, right, with some of these new folks that are being brought on that are going to help me and the volunteers, I do think we'll all get a little more peace. And guess what? I think a lot of us will know we're not to send our damn kids to school. So we should cut these guys out from the knees. And the other thing we need to do afterwards is when we get in the right politicians that love America and put America first, we should tax all the universities, every single last one of them. Tax them, tax their endowments, tax their property. No more free riding. They shouldn't be hurting the communities that they live in. They should not get all these damn tax breaks where you have professors making $300,000 to $500,000 a year that are indoctrinating our kids, ripping us off with public money, and they're not paying any damn taxes to boot. Knock them out at the legs or at the knees. Just take them out. And so anyways, I'm going to make that case with data. And you know what? That's how we're going to get these sons of bitches. Hit them in their pocketbook. And I do think we should go back and hit them with even additional taxes for all the money that they didn't pay along the way. We the people can decide what's fair. You say, you know what? You guys didn't pay for 40 years. You know what? We're going to do a catch-up payment. We're taking this much. It's going to go to pay the damn national debt. You guys weren't paying your damn fair share the entire time. You guys want to undermine the United States? You're lucky we don't take every last damn penny and just take them out. Make them sell their damn property to pay the taxes. Stop their little empire building and ripping us off. So anyways, I have a log off for now. No problem, Shiva. I'm logging out myself. So God bless everybody. I love you. Thank you for signing in. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless. Thank you.